Hello and welcome back everyone to the RSC EU Elite Playoffs. We now have the upper round 1 game between the Concealed versus Volvo V70. I'm here with Thane.
Hi guys.
And Thane, second versus third seed. Anything can happen in these playoffs. Talk me through it.
Yeah, anything can happen is right. We just saw Inferno, top 1 seed, go down the losers bracket. So you never know with playoffs what exactly is going to happen. It's Vector said it yesterday. It's playoff time. Everything's different. It's not regular season. You drop a game and it's very impactful, especially when you're looking at losers bracket, because then you are out. So between the Concealed and Volvo, the Concealed have been on fire, I would say, as well throughout the whole entire season. I mean, these are obviously top teams, but I'm not sure. Volvo is looking strong as well. We do know that a few of these players, being Vector, Bob, Ren, they've been in these positions before in playoffs, and they've gotten to some finals, and I believe Vector has won it twice, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. That might be wrong, but I think so.
Yeah, Vector has won it twice.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, definitely a playoff caliber team, and guys that have experience in it. As for the Concealed with Jaffa, Gamble, and Shiro there, you're going to be able to see some high level Rocket League getting played, top players all the way around. So I think it's going to be a big game as well, and I hope they come out fast. They come out swinging really quickly.
I mean, if we go to the team stats as well, like you said, Concealed have been on fire this season. They were that much on fire that they had something like an 11-win gap between themselves and Inferno at one point, and they kind of stopped turning up to the games. I think in the final week or two, we saw Miners sub up to and Majors sub up to take their place. I mean, I understand that with elite players, obviously they've got commitments in paid leagues as well. So they did lose the first seed in the final week. However, Volvo, like you said, have the experience of Vector on that team. Bob is no stranger to playoff Rocket League, and I think Red has won it once or twice as well. We did see in the major playoffs 2 seasons ago with Vector and Ren down by 3 games in the final, pulling it back to win 4-3 with Papa Barty. So they do have the experience in these knockout tournaments, and I think we're just going to be in for a really close game, despite the 10-win difference.
I think in that reverse sweep, they were playing against Bob, if I'm not mistaken. I think Bob was on the other team.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, a team full of players that know what it means when it's clutch time and know what it takes to get wins. So on paper, the Concealed they have 10 wins more. But like you said, they just stopped showing up to games. I'm not sure if they wanted to drop power rankings. I mean, that could always be a thing. It's not unheard of. Or if it had to do with players having other commitments. But as for players, who stands out to you the most on Volvo's side?
On Volvo, it's got to be Vector. I absolutely love the way Bob plays. I've been a good friend of his for the last few seasons since I joined RSC. And he really does pull the stats. I mean, look at his saves, 115, 72 goals in 76 games, nearly 1 per game. However, that all-star, you're looking at Vector. Like I said before the stream, he doesn't have style points. However, he's that consistent captain that a team needs. He's always a one to lift morale. He's always the one who gets the goals. 84 in 88. Solid defense as well. And all of these players have a similar win rate as well. We can't count out Zaki. We saw him playing in this league last season as well. Unfortunately, I think he was a natural disaster who did forfeit a lot of games before the season started. But But on the side of Concealed as well, though, it's a bit of a new look team from what we came to expect in the first 9 weeks. Sukius, the new GM, deciding to cut Rebels, one of the main players, and bringing in Renshiro and Ollie. And we saw Renshiro doing bits for Caster in the earlier part of the season. However, he did leave that team because of forfeits. So it's a case of whether the Concealed can actually get that team chemistry going. I do know Gamble and Renshiro play in a league outside of here now together, but it's whether they've changed the team in the last 2 weeks, and whether they can actually play together is a different story.
No, most certainly. And Renshiro is somebody that is known for knowing how to win for sure. And lots of people here know Gamble, at least through six mans or what have you. So it's a strong lineup with that Renshiro, Gamble, and Jaffa. And I do want to go to say Vecta is not only a great player, but just a great person as well. I really like his personality, and he can keep a team straight, and in those clutch moments, just keep them concentrated. So I think this is going to be a big one, and we do have all teams here showing up. It does look like the Concealed are going to be playing with Ollie to start out. They will not be playing with Jaffa.
Yeah, 100%. And some teams don't class fourth man as substitute. Some see it as a rotating roster. But do you think that could harm a team coming into the final games of the season, where you haven't got your best player, one of your best players available?
I think it depends. It depends on how much you practice for it. If you don't know the rotations and it's something that throws you off, then it's probably not the greatest idea to throw them in at playoffs, because you really need that. You've had all season to get a good chemistry with your team, and you're just throwing away all that time spent gaining those connections and that chemistry for a sub. So it's just unfortunate. I'm not sure why Jaffa's not here, but they're going to have to persevere without him.
Yeah, it is Easter Sunday, like we said in the last stream, so people might not be available. However, Zaki does come in the first minute and put Volvo 1-0 ahead. Gamble just misreading that play.
Yeah, it looked like Bob kind of faked out Gamble there. Gamble wasn't sure if Bob had another touch. You never know with Bob. So I think it was a good fake from Bob, and just puts it right into the middle for Zaki.
Yeah, Bob is one of the most unpredictable players in the RSC at this tier. Just never know what he's going to do next. Good improvisation from him all the time. But Vector, as we said in the stats, that consistent captain just reading the ball before Gamble and getting the perfect shot off and go over Renshiro. It's 2-0 now to Volvo V70.
Yeah, and great angle there from Vector. That's just that awareness from Vector. He's a really intelligent player. He doesn't have the most flashy mechanics like Bob does, but he is just smart, and he knows the game in and out, and knows how to be in the right place at the right time and get good shots like that. Really good back pass there from Vector as well, putting it off the backboard for Zaki. Trying to get a touch. Gamble and Renshiro double commit, both missing. Ollie alone kind of had to press for that. Vector not quite able to get what he wants, but it almost puts out to Zaki just right over his head, and Gamble might just slot this one in if Bob's not back in time. He is. Very good save from Bob there. Zaki pass out to Bob. Bob with the shot on goal. It's in off of Renshiro. That was off the side post. Very unlucky. So we're 3-0 for the Volvo now. What do you think the Concealed are going to have to do to answer back right now with Volvo's heavy offense in 2 minutes?
I mean, let's just talk about that outfield pass first from Zaki to Bob. Zaki just reads the save, passes it to Bob, and Bob's there to put it onto the post. Renshiro didn't read it coming off the back. It was a brilliant passing play. But like you said, I just think the Concealed have been surprised by the way Volvo have come out. But like we said earlier, I think Vector and Bob's playstyle just complement each other. You've got one person who's intelligent and knows what to do, doesn't overcommit. And you've got Bob who just pulls out those mechanics and flashes of brilliance whenever he needs to. I just think it's a perfect complement of a team. It remains to be seen whether it can be done in a best of 5 in the upper round 1 against second seed, but 3-0 up in the first game is highly positive.
Yeah, most certainly. They're coming out quick, but Ollie's going to get a free shot on net there. Vecta kind of waiting for a pass there in no man's land. Nobody back ready for it. Bob went for the boost, and the boost was looking tasty, and Gamble just slots it into the middle for Ollie to take a shot. It's a good way to answer back. Half the game left. Anything can happen at this point.
Yeah, 3-0 looks like a big deficit, but when there's half the game left and you pull one back, they will be thinking it's game on. And Renshiro gets a double tap off the backboard. Great read from him. I thought he was going to hit the crossbar and bounce out all the way, but Renshiro committed to that and knew where it was going. Great improvisation by him.
Yeah, most certainly, and a really good shot. Just, I'm not sure if he meant to do the double tap, but at this level, I just assume that they will. So,
yeah, it did look like he boosted and changed his car position to compensate for the crossbar hit. And like you said, we can sit here all day debating whether people mean to do things, but in Elite, I think a lot of things are calculated.
yeah, most certainly are. Campbell gets a good clear there. Vector going to try to get this one in the center, and good job from Ollie there, taking care of it. Zaki is going to have to go up for it. Nobody really there. Bob's going to get to it first. He does get a miss. I'm not sure if it was a fake. He went for the boost. Almost gets a shot in from a pass from Vecta. Vecta and Bob up for this one. No one back now. Zaki's going to have to do it with a 2v1 against him. Plays it smart, takes his time, is able to get a 50 on Gamble there. Really good job from Zaki.
Yeah, he played that perfectly, but it might still cost him here. Great save by Zaki again, though. Volvo. Oh. Brilliant shot by Bob, but a brilliant save by Renshiro. It's going to be a double tap. Gamble equalises 3-0 to 3-3. And the Concealed have come out of their shell.
Yeah, on a really great... I mean, that came from all of Renshiro's save there. It booms off the backboard, and Gamble is just able to make a great play, double tapping that one in with a defense that just was non-existent as they were pushing up on the Volvo side. Really good job to equalize it. 1 minute left. We definitely are in the playoffs, and this is the first game, and it is looking pretty even, I would say, so far. Volvo coming out quick to start, but the Concealed able to get the equalizer and continue on.
Yeah, it was a delayed start by the Concealed. Maybe they've just come off the dinner. They needed to whet their appetite, but they've now come in. They've got it back to 3-3, and it's really positive. They've just got to keep up this momentum now, and I would say they've got to find the fourth goal, otherwise they might lose this game.
And it's, so far the Concealed have so many chances right now. Seems like they're doing a really good job making up back that deficit and now keeping pressure. We do have 9 shots for Concealed so far, with a 5 against Volvo. So at the moment, it seems like Concealed has all the pressure. Volvo having a hard time on defense, I would say, the past couple minutes. All down to the 10 seconds left, and Vector's going to have a chance here. He is going to put it out to middle. Zaki's going to have to beat out Gamble. 3 seconds left, and Gamble does get to it first. Bob going to try to put this one down. Ollie is there, but this one's going to go into overtime.
Yeah, we saw it in the first series as well. Overtime in the first game. Nothing can separate these two teams at the moment. And it could all just come down to one simple mistake.
Yeah, and that is the Elite tier. One simple mistake, it costs you the game. That's just how it works, and that's why it is so important at Elite skill level to not be making mistakes. That's what the difference between a good Elite player and a bad Elite player, or semi-good Elite player, is how many mistakes you are making in a game. In that playoffs, you cannot afford to make any mistakes. As Gamble gets a really close one off the sidewall there, Vector able to clear this one out. And it seems to me that Volvo's really got this counter attack offense going. They're really trying to make things happen, but they are almost getting beat on defense. Very unlucky for Vector there. Gamble almost get a slot in. Bob gonna try to probably go for a double tap here. Ollie just gets a touch. He needed that touch. Renshiro again trying to work his magic. He is out the side, has 100 boost now. Gamble's going to try to get to it first, and Ollie's going. Renshiro not quite able to take the shot that he wants to. And Zaki's going to have to go up quick because Gamble's there. Shot for Gamble. It's very unfortunate. Zaki was very hesitant to go for that. I think he needed to go a little bit sooner.
And as Gamble pulls out the chain dash celebrations on the wall, I just want to mention how impressed I've been with his mechanics this game. I mean, he's made some vital saves. I mean, one vital save, and that came in the last 30 seconds of overtime, and then instantly they go up the field and score. Gamble just faster to that ball than Zaki. I think Zaki was a little bit slow to that. I think he needed to react to that a bit quicker. However, the double tap that Gamble pulled off as well earlier in the series from Renshiro's save, I think that's got to be the play of the game so far. Top quality mechanics from, pretty much two 2K players in Gamble and Renshiro.
Yeah, most certainly. I would agree. The play of that game was definitely Renshiro's save to Gamble's quick reaction speed and mechanics for that double tap with a crazy top angle on it. So really nice job from the concealed, just turning that one around. Was a 3-0 deficit there at the beginning, and they seemed to turn it around for a 4-3 victory. And I felt like the first 2 minutes they didn't have much of an offense going, and they kind of just figured out what Volvo was doing and brought it up to another level and got them the win.
Yeah, Volvo going for the passing plays. Maybe it became a little bit more predictable to the conceal once they worked out what they were doing. I was going to mention, obviously, the sub, Ollie only played 10 games with this team in the league, and whether that was affecting them at 3-0 down. But when you come back to 4-3 and win the game, I mean, that kind of goes out the window, doesn't it?
Most certainly does. I mean, Ollie did do a great job, I would say. And he's playing his part like he needs to. And Shiro and Gamble doing a good job as well. Just you can see that they play together a lot, and they know where each other are, and they're getting those passing plays going.
Yeah, I think it was just the unpredictability of Volvo coming out in the first 2 minutes. But is this where you need Vector's calming influence now, where you've just lost a game from being 3-0 up?
Yeah, I don't think the tilting starts yet. I think it's one of those things. All right, we lost the first game. It's fine. We got. That's the best thing on a best of 5 is that you know that you have more games to play. It's not every game matters like regular season where, you drop a game and you're like, dang, we missed out on that sweep or what have you. So best of 5 is a little bit different mentality, but they definitely don't want to drop the next game. It seems like Volvo's doing a good job right now, keeping pressure, trying to control that midfield. And Concealed realize that. They just get booming clears and then try to hammer it onto the Volvo's side, doing a good job of just continuing that relentless pressure that they had last game. And at this point, it's a lot of back and forth and could go either way.
It definitely is. We're 1:30 in and we still haven't had a shot from any team. It is literally defense to defense, and most of the ball being in midfield. No one can quite connect and get a shot off, but also, Bob might have the first chance. Good play by Renshiro.
Oh, and Renshiro did not get a touch, and Zaki might get the double. He's not quite able to. Very unlucky there for Volvo's side. They definitely had a chance there, and they most certainly thought Renshiro would get a touch, and there's no reason to put yourself out of play on that one. Sometimes it's just worth going for all the marbles.
Yeah, and Ollie's defense has been quite impressive in the past few minutes as well. He's really doing bits for his team. 2 saves now, and that's what you want from one of the lower end elite players as well, especially in Knockout Rocket League.
Yeah, most certainly. You don't have to have a great season. You need to have a great few games in the playoffs to win it. And right now, the Concealed are playing really well, but you have to give it to both these teams. It does seem very evenly matched so far. And a lot of mind games, I would say, coming out. A lot of just controlling that midfield, trying to control boost. And we haven't seen many demo plays, many disruption plays coming out yet. I think that might be a strategy that will be implemented here very soon, as Gamble almost had a shot there. That was really close off the top post. Ollie almost be able to finish it on the other side. Not quite able to. Vector's going to have a chance here. It is on. Gamble with a good save. Zaki and Bob double commit for this. It could be dangerous. Bob just gets to it, but Gamble with another save. Big clutch saves coming out with Gamble so far.
I don't know how Volvo came off with that shot opportunity. Zaki and Bob, I think, double committed in the corner, and it should have been punished, but somehow they got the shot on target and didn't. But it's still 0-0. Still a tense game. 3 shots to 4 in favour of Volvo.
It's almost like the same thing we saw last series as well, Arky, on that. Both teams are just trying to not get scored on. It seems like it's not. You don't see that like all-out offensive coming. They're really trying to play it smart and just not get beat and make the poor decisions. As this one's a good pass and good shot out from Vecta. Really good passing play. Good job from Zaki there, controlling it off of the sidewall, beats out one and passes it to mid for Vecta. Vecta just has perfect placement. Gamble and Renshiro not able to get to it.
I mean, what can you say? Top bins. Like we talk about Vecta pre-game about not being flashy, just doing the simple things right. And what a shot from him! No air roll, nothing. Just jumps up, knows where the ball is. Perfect placement into the top left, and it beats out 2 players because they don't expect it to go back post.
Yeah, most certainly, and 2 very top players at that. So, really good shot there from Vecta. I'm not sure if it was a fake, but Vecta puts it out to middle. No one there to follow it up. Very unfortunate from Volvo. Really good job from Vecta. And there's those disruption plays coming out as a Vecta demos Renshiro in midfield. Vecta really coming out clutch this game. He does not want to lose this game. Vecta continues to look for bump plays on Renshiro. They're trying to make something happen. Someone's going to have to press the ball. Cannot give at this elite level so much time to the opposition. They will score on you, especially when you have guys like Renshiro and Gamble on the field. But Vecta scoring it again by himself. I feel like he just carried this team on his back the last minute and a half, 2 minutes.
I was going to say, even before he had this goal, he had double the points of his team. Yep. He's now just took them on his back, and you can tell this is Vecta's 3-course meal for Easter. He wants this series. He's the one pushing them to victory.
Yeah, most certainly. He's taking this concealed side for a ride in that Volvo right now, doing a great job of it as well. He has more points than both of his players combined on his team. Points aren't everything, but when you're on Vecta right now, you sure are carrying this team to a great victory on that one.
I mean, if this was the end of a 4-game series and they've just pulled off the 2-2, Vecta would be the man to get into the interview, because that was just a one-man show in that game. All credit to Vecta and Olsi, obviously defending well. It was a very tense and tight game. Both teams, as you said, trying to be smart, not overcommit. But Vecta just did everything in that game pretty much. He got the most saves on his team, the most shots, the most goals. I mean, and I know points don't mean everything, but Vecta surely proved that sometimes it does.
Sometimes it most certainly does, and Vecta really coming out with some clutch plays there, and it's going to be interesting to see what the concealed does with that, because you can't expect Vecta to just carry every single game. You need Zaki and OC is Bob, by the way. I forgot to mention that earlier. For anybody who doesn't know, to us it's just mandatory that we know OC is Bob, so that's why his name is now Bob. But OC, they both played really well, OC and Zaki, and I've been really impressed with Zaki's defensive prowess so far in the series. We are going to have a reset here, game crash. So we're going to try to buy a little bit of time as somebody starts up the game. Got people going in and out right now of the game, just trying to keep this lobby from starting at the moment.
We do have some interaction in the chat, and Infinity, the boy from Cali, I will buy a Volvo V70 if they win the whole thing. Puts in brackets, this is a joke for legal reasons. So unfortunately, we won't see the American boy in a Volvo V70 around England streets.
Very unfortunate too, because what a beautiful car that is.
Very reliable, I've heard.
It is quite reliable.
And I think Vecta is back in the game. I think we're good to go. Players did well to hold that lobby, switching teams. But it is game 3 and it is 1-1. And what other Easter treats do you think are in store for us right now?
I don't know. It's nice not to see a sweep for sure. And It just depends. Is Vecta going to just ball out again? I think Gamble and Ranchero are going to have an answer. Ollie doing a great job as well, just holding that third man position and making things happen for his team as he gets a really good pass out to Ranchero there. Almost slots that one in, but not quite able to. Zaki going to try to pass this one over to Bob. Bob maybe tried to take control. Very quick on that. It is a 2v1. This is open again. Lots of passes coming out from Vecta and nobody able to follow it. And that's just goes to show that they're really trying not to make too many mistakes and not just overcommit for things that they don't feel like they have to.
Yeah, I'm just noticing though that both teams are trying to be aggressive in this first minute. I saw on the first attack that the Concealed had all 3 players in the opponent's half, and then Volvo came out and did the same thing. However, I think they all ran out of boost and retreated back to goal. It was unfortunate because Vector put a good pass inside, but Zaki just went for the back boost. I think this is a good way to feel out the third game, is who cracks first, basically.
Yeah, who cracks first, and it does look like Volvo is having a cracking of a car right now as they are not letting, they're not able to save that one as Ventura just slots it in the top left corner. Ollie almost saved it with a squishy save.
He did well to jump out of the way for that, but I think Vector will be kicking himself there for putting the ball back into the middle. I think he could have maybe rotated his car a little and put it back to the corner, but in hindsight, it's easy to say as the caster.
Is very easy to say as we are not the ones playing as Renshiro gets another goal here. Bob just a little bit out of position. That very fortunate that the Concealed didn't get caught up on the double commit there and they're able to make a goal from it.
Yeah, I think Zaki could have maybe not done the last man commit. It meant Bob had to rush back with a lack of boost. But it does put the Concealed 2-0 up, and they've come out really aggressive in this first game.
Yeah,
third game, sorry.
That's fine. I think both these teams have, and that is, you know, the repercussions of coming out quick and coming out fast and aggressive is your defense is then lacking because of it. And we have a 3-0 for Concealed now. Gamble just able to slot that one into the top. Good job from Ollie there getting that pass in.
Yeah, and as Infinity said, it looks like the Volvo V70 has broke down on the motorway. They are 3-0 down with 2 minutes to go. And what do you need to do from this position to try and up the ante like they did in the second game?
It's hard now. I mean, it's 3 minutes to go. You could score one every minute and bring it into overtime. At this point, they just need to make sure that they're not overcommitting for things like they were doing in first and second game. They were doing a good job of not overcommitting for things they didn't have to. But that's also the other gamble is right now you have to score, right? You can't sit back on defense because you're not going to score. So making sure to get those big clears, get those passing plays in like they've been doing. Zaki gets a good touch here. It might just be a goal. He fakes it in for Gamble. Gamble not quite able to read it. Good job from Zaki there.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, Zaki kind of needs to get into the game a little bit more, but he faked out the defence there well. And he does give a little bit of hope to Volvo, still nearly half the game left. And we see it as 3-1 to Conceal.
And the Volvo has had chances. They have had 7 shots compared to the 7 shots of Concealed. The Concealed have just had a little bit better shooting accuracy, obviously, and able to slot things in from weird angles or kind of beat out that defense so that the third man of Volvo is in an awkward situation, not quite able to save it. Maybe the right thing to do for Volvo at this point is getting those disruption plays going to mess up the rotations of the Concealed. Zaki will be able to slot this one in. Open net. Zaki's showing up.
They called the AA, and they've recovered the car. Zaki has got into the game. He's put it to 3-2. Really good way to get back into the game now. And, I mean, it could be a shadow of the first game here. 3-0 up, and then maybe if it goes to 3-3, it's a repeat of the first game.
Yeah, it could be, and really good job from Zaki jump starting this Volvo back into action. Nice job from this Volvo side, and it's good to see Zaki showing up, and I believe Vecta is able to show off a little bit of what he did last game and Bob as well. Bob's kind of not. I don't know. Bob is so flashy, and he's so good at making goals happen, but hasn't quite been able to do anything at this point. As Zaki gets a huge save, he had to get that one. And both of his teammates are not there. He's not able to save 3 times in a row. And Zaki's saying, "Guys, where are you? Like, I need your help."
Yeah, 100%. If I was in that position, I would be frustrated that my teammates haven't got back as quick as they did. You're expected to make 3 saves against a 2K player. It's just not going to happen, especially with the amount of boost that you need. And that's going to cost Volvo a bit of momentum. However, as I say that, Bob finally puts in, I think, maybe his first goal of the series. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I think it is the first goal of the series for Bob there, and really good job as well from Vector getting that passes in. The passes from Vector are amazing, to say the least. I mean, they're pretty much perfect every single time.
Yeah, 100%. Vector with 2 assists now. And as we saw in the last game, he does do a lot for this team. Good pass inside to Zaki. He just missed. Tried to fake it out a little bit and then get the power shot, but would have equalised the game. I mean, Concealed are being a bit rocky in this last few minutes.
Last few minutes, they've been a little bit afraid of Volvo's offense, and to say, they really should be, because the Volvo are looking very good right now. The Volvo needs a little bit better defense, I would say. They're struggling on defense, but their attack is wonderful. Their passing plays are great. They're in the right positions. They're just struggling with these 2K players on defense, and I mean, it's just one player's able to know how to score and how to change direction of a ball very quickly. As we're in the final few seconds of this game, Volvo needs one more, and they're not going to be able to do it, as Gamble's just going to let this one hit the ground.
Smart play from Gamble there. He knew all he needed to do was pinch it onto the wall or kill it, and he chose to just let it drop. Really well played. I think all the Volvo players had committed to that final ball. But we do see Concealed take a 2-1 lead. But as we said earlier on, Volvo did seem to jumpstart their car after about the 2-minute mark when they went 3-0 down. I think it's just a little bit too little too late for them.
Yeah, at that point they did a good fight, though, coming back from that 3-0 deficit and almost getting back into it. And the game could have, feel like around that midpoint when they were scoring those goals, they could have gotten it back. And every game so far has been back and forth, it seems like. So, I mean, so far it's a great series, and it's interesting to see the teams change up their play style as they're going to match or to counteract what the other team is doing.
Yeah, and I would just like to ask while we're on stream, can the elite captains please just report scores as well in the match reporting channels, just so that we can do the awards for the playoffs as well, and keep the playoff bracket up to date. We do go to game number 4 now, and Concealed are on series point here.
Yeah, they are, and Volvo's going to have to show why they want to win this one. Daki doing a good job there, putting it out to mid. Gamble going to try to get the pass and not able to. Vector just going to put it up to make Ollie use all his boost. Bob went for it, though. Zaki's going to have to scramble back. Gamble's going to get a 50 on him. Touches it out to the side, but Zaki's able to recover and get this one again. Just pinches it out, gives away possession a little bit. Zaki probably needed the boost. Back to him. Just puts a shot on goal. Trying to make something happen. Bob here. Over to Vector. Gamble's going to 50 him, though, in the air. And Zaki's going to get a booming clear if he can beat out Ollie. Not quite able to. Good job from Ollie there on that 50. Vector. Control on the side here. Gets it past one. Right off the side, and very unfortunate for Zaki, but they're going to have to be careful here. Nobody in net. Vector's going to have to scramble back. He's not going to be able to get there in time. And that is that super attacking offense that can hurt you when you need to scramble back on defense. And Vector just not quite able to get there on time. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, Volvo need to be aggressive to win this game. However, not too aggressive, as you find yourselves in positions like that where you're the last man back with no boost. and Concealed do take a 1-0 lead into series point.
And it seems like Volvo is getting a little bit flustered. They're going to take another goal here. All players up in attacking half and nobody ready for something that goes over their head. You know, I think Volvo can still do this, but I do think they're starting to get a little bit flustered. I'm starting to see more mistakes coming out from the Volvo side.
I don't know whether that was a lack of judgment by Vector or whether Zaki wasn't aware that Vector was up, but it looked like Vector just flew in for over Zaki. Zaki was already on that side of the field, and maybe a lack of trust coming out of this Volvo side in the fourth game.
Could be also some frustration maybe coming out as well, but you gotta remember whoever loses will go into a loser's bracket. You do have another chance, and you know, of course, you're wanting to win these games and you don't want to take a loss, but there's no reason to get tilted in the first series.
What to say by Renshiro? Automatically on the backboard, knew the shot was coming off the backboard from the opponent. Just slams himself down on it and keeps Volvo out. It's relatively even with shots. It's 5-3 right now for the Concealed. Volvo have had chances.
That's the interesting thing, is it's actually been pretty even shot-wise in every game of this series. The Concealed just having a little bit better shooting accuracy, and we saw that on the stats as well. I think it was Renshiro with 31% shooting accuracy between 86 games or something like that. That's huge.
Yeah, definitely. If you're looking at shot percentage, anything between 30 to 40% over such a long season is just amazing to have. And you can only describe the players as clinical at that point.
Well, certainly, and clinical is a good word to describe these players as highest tier in RSC. We're seeing some great play coming out from both these teams. I'm not seeing so many disruption plays coming out from Volvo as was before when they were scoring goals. And I think they need to implement that again, as Bob almost owned goals. That was very close. Not quite what he wanted. And Vector's trying to get the 50 here. Zaki, I'm not sure why he left that.
Renshiro really is playing this smart. He knows they're at the point where they're going to win this game. He's basically faked out nearly 3 players in one play. He's just trying to bide time for his team now, and he's wasted about 30 seconds on the clock since he got the ball in the left side corner. Really smart play from these 2K players.
Clutch save from Bob there. He's going to have to do it again. Vector kind of making it awkward for his teammates, rotating directly where the ball was going. Ollie going to have a good touch, and Ollie's been doing really well. A good score from Ollie there. Bob not able to get the save, and Ollie really showing up, I'd say, on this last and final game. Like you said, Renshiro buying so much time off the clock there, and a minute and 15 left, 3-0 deficit. I mean, last game they got it close to coming back, but I don't think Volvo's going to be able to do this one.
Yeah, he bought a lot of time, and it's basically nigh on impossible to pull a 3-goal deficit back at this point. You really do need to start scoring soon. And it is nigh on impossible now as Renshiro puts in the 4th goal. That will be game, set and match to the Concealed. They will find themselves in the upper final versus Rias Legion.
Yeah, and that's going to be a good game. We don't want to, cut anything out from Volvo right now, and they're going to have their chances in the losing bracket. Very unfortunate, I would say, so far for the Volvo side, but just not able to have the defense that they need against the Concealed, sadly. I feel like their offense is really decent, but they're just not able to defend the way they need to against this Concealed side, and it's really been shown this last game. Do have to give it to the Concealed, though. I mean, great offensive pressure. They do have 13 shots against Volvo's 8. And they've had most shots throughout all these games. It has been close, this being the biggest deficit so far. But the Concealed are, like you said, they're just clinical with their shooting, and their offensive pressure is just so good.
Yeah, I think this is the biggest. I think most of the games in the upper bracket have just been 1-goal games, and then we see this 5-goal game here. I think it's unfortunate for Volvo, but I do really think frustration until it might have crept into this final game. You could see just a little bit of a lack of trust in some of the plays at the start of this fourth game. The team plays were magnificent from Volvo in the first three. However, let's just talk about Renshiro in this game. 3 goals, 5 saves, 5 shots, 881 points. I mean, superb showing from, I think, the second highest player in the league.
Yeah, and it's what we come to know Renshiro doing is just making offensive plays happen. It's very unfortunate for Volvo. You know, I think the car broke down there at the end, and the tilt got to them for sure. You could see it at the beginning, like you were saying, and it's unfortunate. I don't want to count Volvo out. I do want to see Cinderella stories happen, but when you have Volvo and you know some of these other lower teams that could most certainly be higher in the bracket, going down that losers bracket, it's rough. It's rough down there in the losers bracket, and if you think here's some tilt, there's going to be some tilt there down the losers bracket.
Yeah, definitely. They've got to play more games now than they expected. Obviously, Volvo did gamble on getting this top 4 seed. That is what they strived for in week 11 when they did beat out Rias Legion in the final game, or the second to last game. And now they've got to go to that losers bracket anyway and play the same amount of games that they were going to anyway. It's going to be a tough ride for them, but we saw it with Android yesterday. All you need is a good run and good momentum to take the lower bracket and get up to the final. What are your thoughts on these first 2 series so far? Obviously, we've got Rias Legion and the Concealed as the upper final. I mean, great matchup.
Yeah, so far it's been really good, and I mean, Rias Legion versus the Concealed that's 2 very top tier teams playing really well. Um, it's so interesting because all of Elite is so good, you know, and they all bring their own pizzazz to it, and it's really interesting to watch these players and how the teams change throughout a series and how they will change throughout the playoffs as a whole. And I mean, really great job from the Concealed there on that win. And I think, I think the Concealed deserve that victory.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, playoff Rocket League does throw in some unexpected matchups, and we do see the second versus fourth seed in the upper final coming in an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, it's playoff Rocket League now. Anyone can win. We can see a good run from the lower bracket as well. First seed, I believe, is still in it. So they do have a chance. But we will be back in an hour and 20 minutes, and it's the return of the Hop with Sabijao. So we hope you enjoyed that, and we will see you in an hour and 20.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys. Going to be some great Rocket League ahead. See you soon.
Good night.